Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today we'll be talking about the film Friday the 13th 5, A New Beginning. Every Friday the 13th, I put out a new Friday the 13th movie review. So, I've done 4 of them already. This is the 5th one. It's kind of something I like to do every Friday the 13th. It was released on March 22nd, 1985. The film is about Tommy Jarvis, who is played by Corey Feldman in part 4, and is played by Corey Feldman at the beginning of the film. He actually shot his one little sequence on a weekend break from Goonies. This film takes that character but ages him quite a bit, even though I think only a year has really gone by chronologically, but they couldn't get Corey Feldman. And why, they're kind of fast-tracking this one, so why wait for Corey Feldman to be available when you can just make this other guy be Corey Feldman, but 5 to 7 years older. And so he's going to a halfway house for kids who have been in mental facilities and they're slowly kind of being reintroduced to society. And while Tommy Jarvis is there, murders start happening, and presumably not Jason because he died last movie. Spoilers, sorry for everybody. There's various murders, and he keeps seeing Jason everywhere, and they're trying to find out who the killer is and who is donning even the Jason mask to kill people. This movie is kind of, I guess, like the Halloween 3 of the Friday the 13th franchise, because it takes the idea let's do something completely different. Let's give it a new villain so we can, the brand recognition's still there, people will still come out. And it's similar, they wanted to do this kind of thing after part 1. They wanted to, part 2, Paramount actually wanted them to make Friday the 13th Part 2 like it would be an ongoing anthology series. And they actually wanted to do that with Halloween as well, and that was the inspiration for 3. And if 3 had been successful, Halloween actually would have been an anthology horror series, and the only ones that would have had anything to do with Michael Myers were the first 2. That didn't turn out to be very successful, and I think A New Beginning is the exact same way. It tries to be anthology, but it also, it's weird, because I think this Friday the 13th film, A New Beginning, it's not as straightforward as Halloween 3 was. Halloween 3 doesn't really mention Michael Myers. It's absolutely doing a different kind of horror film. And then Friday the 13th Part 5 is still in the style of a Friday the 13th movie. Jason is all over the damn thing. The opening sequence was fine, and I actually kind of like the opening sequence, but other things where he sees him in the mirror and that the killer is wearing a Jason mask, but he's not Jason, he's some other guy. This film just feels very rushed. It's not particularly that great. The scares are meh. The whole thing with who the killer is, to me, that got kind of lame. It got very old and wasn't very mysterious. I kind of guessed who it was early on. And there's been times I've guessed who the killer is in other movies and it hasn't bothered me. But it bothers me more in this one because there really wasn't, even if I hadn't guessed, the suspense really wasn't there. There's really not the fun with the camera. I really like the perspective shots in the other Friday the 13th films, where it looks like it's someone's POV and it likes to trick you and it likes to jump up on you. In this film, certainly the gore is there, the camera work isn't, the fun definitely isn't, which is something that's really important for a Friday the 13th movie. That was one of the things when they made the first one, they wanted it to be like a roller coaster ride kind of horror movie. And this film isn't like a roller coaster ride, it's like a paint by numbers slasher movie. It's not a bad paint by numbers slasher movie, but in comparison for what we came from part 4, this is a major step down. Why not just bring Jason back in this one? Why have this kind of weird step? I guess they learned their lesson, and it seems like this film wasn't very well received by most people. Halloween 3 I like in theory, and this one I only like slightly in theory. Creatively, this didn't really understand what it wanted to be, because it wants to really be a Friday the 13th film, but it also wants to be a different kind of Friday the 13th film because it's a new beginning. But it's a very weak relaunch, and there doesn't seem to be a clear vision for this movie. I think Friday the 13th movies, they need to be fun, they need to have kind of a cool energy about them, and they need to kind of surprise me. Even if they're cheap scares, it's just this film didn't really have it. Just kind of a very muddled studio horror movie. So if you have seen Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to. And please come back and see my next Friday the 13th review, which will be on Friday, September 13th, 2013, which is quite a ways away, but we did have 3 Friday the 13ths this year, which are the most you can have in a single year. So there's no wonder that it's going to be a while, I guess.